Nigel Owens was this week named as the referee for the Pacific Nations Cup match between Fiji and Tonga in Suva on June the 11th. The occasion will see the man who took charge of the 2015 Rugby World Cup final overtake Jonathan Kaplan's 70 tests and become the most capped referee of all time.
You know, when you're refereeing a test match, whether it be a World Cup qualifier or a World Cup final, at the end of the day it's a test match and you've got to go out there and referee a game of rugby to the best of your ability, because the 30 players on the pitch in a World Cup qualifier won't care whether you referee the World Cup final or not. They'll want you to referee their game as if it is the World Cup final, and that's only right that you do your best in that.
This was his third World Cup as a referee and provided him with an unforgettable conclusion to the tournament.
Probably my favourite moment was our World Cup final when at the end of the game Australia had just been beaten by New Zealand, and Pocock was not only a great player but a great man as well. They just lost to New Zealand in that final, and I blew the final whistle and he came up to shake my hand and sort of put his arm around me and said thanks for a great match. And I thought, this guy has just lost the World Cup final, has lost out on winning a World Cup winners medal. May he get the chance again? Who knows? And he just, the first thing he did was, after the whistle, was come towards me and shake my hands and say that. And that epitomised, I think, not only the greatness of players in the game, but the greatness of rugby as a sport as well.
Nigel Owens.
A true character of the game who brings his own unique style to refereeing, Owens ended his year with further accolades, winning World Rugby Referee of the Year.
The law book is important, you know. I always joke sometimes I never read the law book. Well, I don't really read it, but now and again something happens in a game and I need to check up to see what that law is. So the law book is important, especially for the safety of the game, which is paramount really. And the law book is there to design that two teams in a very physical contact sport, with massive hits going in sometimes, are able to play that game in the most safe environment that we can possibly give them. And then you need to have the feel for the game as well, which is just as important as the law book, because if you don't have a feel for the game, you're not going to get a game of rugby. The easy job of refereeing is learning the laws of the game and going out there and blowing the whistle. That's the easy part. But you want a game of rugby that everybody can enjoy as a spectacle and want people to come and fill the stadiums and enjoy the wonderful game of rugby, then you need to get the balance right of knowing when not to blow that whistle and when you need to. And that is the challenge for any referee, especially the ones who want to make it to the top. You don't understand? How many times have I refereed you? You don't understand me still? I'll shout louder then, okay?
He's always got a one-liner somewhere in his bag of tricks.
I think if there's one thing that society today lacks is respect, and rugby upholds that value of respect better than any other sport, I think, because respect from players to officials, officials to players, players to each others. You know how many times you see in a game when a player gets tackled and gets knocked back a few yards and then the guy who tackles him puts his hand out to lift him back up. You don't see that happening much in other sports in the world. What other sports in the world, you know, will you see spectators sitting next door to each other? It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you come from, what the colour of your skin is, what your religious beliefs, what your sexual orientation is. None of that should matter one bit. All that matters one bit is that you are treated the same. No better, no worse, just the same as everybody else. Not only in rugby, but in any sport and in society, in everyday life. And that is, I think, the true value of rugby, that rugby allows you to be yourself. And that's why I think rugby union is not only the greatest team sport in the world on the field, but without a shadow of a doubt, the greatest of team sports in the world off the field as well.